Starfish can be quite a nuisance to fishermen, getting caught in nets and eating up marine life. But one business has figured out how to use starfish in ways you wouldn't expect.
Black shadows in the sky. The crows are here. They rip through garbage and annoy people with their droppings. In Tokyo's Taito Ward, the government office rents out its rooftop to businesses as part of its green building efforts. But the crows have been causing trouble.
Crows did some damage, pecking at the moss and tossing it around, digging up the soil.
This paint is now being used to keep the crows away. Since it was first applied to the edge of plant beds last spring, the crows have kept their distance. The paint is actually made from starfish. The process begins by extracting a liquid compound. It glows under ultraviolet light in a way that crows can see, but humans cannot. That keeps the crows away without any impact on the landscape. The paint was developed by a waste disposal company in the northern prefecture of Hokkaido. The project began about 10 years ago. The local government of a coastal area asked for advice after having trouble disposing of starfish. The company did an experiment, mixing starfish with rice bran to turn it into fertilizer. They noticed that crows wouldn't go anywhere near it, so they began developing products, including crow-repellent paint. It's now being used on the roof of the Sapporo Clock Tower, a famous site in Hokkaido's capital. Officials say bird droppings now need to be cleaned up far less frequently.
If demand keeps rising, a cycle may develop where we buy starfish on site and then process them to make the raw materials.
Compounds taken from starfish can do other amazing things as well. They inhibit the growth of mold, for one thing. So the company came up with a commercial soap using ingredients from starfish. It's sold as a product to help stop the spread of mold and other fungi. Another potential benefit of starfish is that they contain a substance that repels insects. Oshita Atsuko is the president of a non-profit organization that supports children's health in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka has 2 rainy seasons per year, and there are many pools left by the rain, turning it into a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
Dengue fever is endemic in the country. More than 60,000 people were infected last year. So the group is encouraging children to use the soap to see if it can prevent infection.
We are going to use starfish, which aren't used for much else. Dengue fever is a serious problem for society over there, but we have the ability to do something about it.
For me personally, it was heartbreaking to see mounds of starfish being discarded. I'm from Hawaii, so I think they're just beautiful creatures. But with that being said, I had no idea that starfish had all of these qualities. So what do you make of this business?
Yeah, I think it's important to consider the broader context of maintaining biodiversity. It's true that certain species can cause harm when they're invasive or grow too quickly. And actually, one of the key species that damages scallop farms is an invasive species globally. That said, we do need to be careful about going too far, and so monitoring impacts will be necessary.
You know, recently on Bizstream, we did an entire story on putting bycatch to good use, and this is another example of that. And it seems like, you know, we're kind of moving in the right direction in that sense.
Yeah, I think that it's important to think about how we manage waste. Waste disposal can be really expensive, and sometimes a creative approach is necessary. You need to make the right connections, add the technology and innovation, and that takes some creativity and time. One example that comes to mind is battery waste. So households obviously can't do anything with batteries that are used already, but with the right techniques, lithium can be harvested from batteries, and this could be a potential resource. And I think the starfish example is one way that we can harvest waste to make a new resource.
Very interesting. Next, we have On-Site Report.